I remember just getting to the theater. I happened to be late. The showing was at like it starts at 11:45. I didn't get there to 12:15. I was like, dang, I'm gonna miss some of it. And I was like, oh, this is set it up. It's gonna be bad. This was all signs for me to just like chuck up the deuces, take the loss on the money, and just not go see it. But what's good, everybody? This is Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, and we're back at it with a movie review. Now, this is for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video. Now, I dropped the shorts, and it was right after leaving the theater. Now, before I went into the theater, I had seen people, trash the movie, and I'm just all like, dang, like not Ant-Man, because I actually like the Ant-Man films. A lot of the films that aren't as popular are the ones I actually really, really like Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Loki. But I was I remember just getting to the theater. I happened to be late. The showing was at like it starts at 11:45. I didn't get there to 12:15. I was like, dang, I'm gonna miss some of it. And I was like, oh, this is set it up. It's gonna be bad. This was all signs for me to just chuck up the deuces, take the loss on the money, and just not go see it. But I got there. It was actually right on time. They were just about to start. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now, the movie itself was dope. Do not believe whatever negative stuff people are saying. I'm trying to even see how people were saying that people was falling asleep, walking out of the theater, all this other stuff. That is not what I experienced. Was there a lot less people? Yeah, because I saw it on Saturday. I think the first showing of it was Thursday night, I want to say. So, yeah, if it wasn't something, especially a title that normally doesn't get a lot of people, yeah, I can understand why there wasn't that many people when I got there. But seeing the movie, standard, edition, no 3D, no none of that. The movie was dope. For me, what I went into wanting is exactly what I got. For one, there was a lot of not just Easter eggs, but everything started connecting in this way to where it's like, when you take a look at King's technology, the Ten Rings, Miss Marvel, Shang-Chi, like all these things start connecting in this way. The Eternals, the Celestial, all of that stuff starts forming in this way, and it's all like, dang. And when you think about as far as Ant-Man, this small microscopic and all this stuff happening in this micro world that's causing these big things, don't sleep on Ant-Man. That's all I'm saying. Don't sleep on Ant-Man. It was really, really cool how this movie played in a lot to the other Ant-Mans, as far as full circle event with Baskin Robbins, full circle event with Casey, Ant-Man, and old dude who was the B dude, who ends up being, there's going to be spoilers in this, who ends up being like Marduk and everything like that. So that was really, really cool. There was just, I'm for me, I wanted to see what they would do to a quantum world and how there's layers to it, and all of that was show. It was really, really dope. I guess like it was this mix between, there was like Star Wars references, Alice in Wonderland references, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, like all of these different things. And Kane, yo, Jonathan in this version, because if you see Loki, he was super chill. This was a different variant. This is He Who Remains. This was a completely different one. We hadn't seen a Kane in action. And yo, this dude is a straight up G. Now, some people didn't like the fact how in the world did Ant-Man, kill Kang and different thing like that. Remember the rule of these movies: if you don't see a body, so and it more than likely it was like a stalemate, and you can tell that Kang underestimated as far as Ant-Man, and it wasn't like it was Ant-Man wasn't going to win in a physical fight, which is interesting because not only is King physically adept at fighting, but he's also intelligent, which his intelligence went out the window after a certain threshold of things not going his way. Now, again, this could all be a part of his plan because essentially this variant of Kane just went smaller and smaller in that particular whatchamacallit that he had. So with the knowledge and information that he has from conquering, from rising up, from doing all of these different things, yo, Kane was down bad and he made a whole freaking city. Like, so wherever he's at in time, and now the more information that he's gotten in regards to how stuff like this works, this particular variant of Kang is going to be an important part. And if I'm not mistaken, at the end when we see the other Kang variants, we have the Ramatat, we have a Mortis, which is the older version of Kang, and then I think they were saying that the other one was the Red Centron. It's like a cyborg version of him. Now, if you remember in Low Key, the three timekeepers, or in He Who Remains, there was those three statues, but one of them was destroyed. Now, in this movie, more than likely, I think what they were shooting at was this particular variant of the King might have been that fourth one, and this particular version of King is King the Conqueror. Like this is that one. So them banishing him to the quantum world, I think is very, very interesting. So this particular movie, I don't know what people was just like, it's so horrible. Personally, this movie was better than the fourth Thor movie. It was better than Wakanda Forever. Was it better than Doctor Strange 2 and the Spider-Man? If I were to put it on a hierarchy, I would say, me personally, if I were to put it on a hierarchy of rewatchability, it would be Doctor Strange 2, Ant-Man, and then the Spider-Man. Because with the Spider-Man, there's just particular parts that I would watch over and over. With Doctor Strange 2 and Ant-Man 3, those are movies that I would legit watch over and over and over again. Like even right now, I'm just all like, I feel like now some people be like, well, what happened to the homie who tells the stories and everything like that? Personally, I like the fact that this was in the quantum world, versus the real world, and just how important the things that like the everything is going on just hunky dory sort of as far as like the real world. And in this micro world, one of the most dangerous beings is like in there, and they're just like, no one knows this stuff is even going on. Now, I personally liked as far as Cassie I think there was a lot of balance. Like this wasn't one of those MCU woke where the woman's, leading, doing some weird stuff. I, I don't know. But this wasn't that. This was not that. In the realm of the other people, like the Iron Mans, the Thors, the Captain Americas, the Doctor Stranges, it's cool to see the everyday man, the everyday person who's out here doing these small things, but it's such an important thing, and there's a lot of references throughout the movie of those concepts. Now, I am glad that we got to see a badass King the Conqueror as far as in action and his tech, different things like that. I was sitting up there and seeing the different things he was able to do, like when Cassie and Scott was in these little jail cells, whatever kept them in there with his technology, he's able to like basically squish them if he wanted to. Like he's able to do some weird stuff as far as with that. His beams, like he was erasing straight up people. I was like, yo, he's going on a rampage and people are being blipped out of existence. I'm like, yo, this dude is something else. But it was very interesting their version of the concept of time. Like right now, just seeing movies like Everywhere, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse, this Ant-Man, I feel like we're going to see a lot more when it comes, because I mean, even if you just see different things in the news when it comes to quantum, the type of stuff that is happening right now is very, very interesting in this microscopic world that's unseen to the regular human eye. So, me personally, if you're a fan of Ant-Man and you're a fan of quantum time, travel, different things like that, then I think you will like this movie. I'm confident that I'm trying to, and this is all off of a one view. I'm definitely gonna watch it again. If there was anything that I didn't like, I personally didn't like how Marduk looked without his mask. That whole face stretch thing, I get it. It was completely funny, and some people may have thought him being there is just like this comic, relief type of thing. I personally thought it was cool in contrast to someone like King the Conqueror to understand like the brutality that he is, So, and it goes with like his character. Do I think Marduk is officially gone out of the MCU? I don't know, because you saw as far as the lines and everything like that, it didn't go to a straight line before cutting, out. So even if it did, there might be a way to re-jolt him back and him come back in some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure, but hey, anything's possible. That would have been really the only thing that I pretty much disliked about the movie. The runtime, it didn't even feel like that long. That's how like engulfed I was into the movie, because it was like 2 hours, but it didn't feel that way. The ending was cool. I didn't have a problem with the ending. I thought he was going to get trapped in the quantum realm. And so at first, I was just like, okay, the daughter going to find him and using that tech. It all did make sense. I think they were saying that earlier drafts of the movie that was supposed to happen, but I'm glad that they were able to get out. It would have been certain things where okay, getting him like having Ant-Man 4 be that where they're going to get him out of the quantum world and him and Hope out of the quantum world. I think it would have been unnecessary, but the interesting thing Loki and Ant-Man's like interactions with these variants of kings, I think are very, very important. And we're gonna see that in the Avengers, King Dynasty, and Secret Wars, and all these different things. This is just touching all these things. And as a part of the overall arch of Marvel, you have to see where these things fit in continuity and with everything else and how it's got to set up other things. So even as just a standalone movie, I thought it was dope. Would honestly, I would give this movie out of 10. I would give this a solid 7, almost pushing 8 out of 10. That's just my personal opinion. If you didn't like Ant-Man, let me know in the comments. Why didn't you like it? Why what about the movie made it so bad that it just was the worst? Like I'm seeing things like this was the worst movie. But I'm like, damn, man. Like, no, it really was not. But even if you liked it as well, let me know your favorite parts of the movies in the comment section. So Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe with notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video. Peace.
Being ready for the return to fall. Maybe I should be asleep, but these full moon vibes got me in the deep. Emotional roller coaster strapped in my seat, ready for a trip to find what I seek. Passing through the galaxy into my office, translating thoughts into deep science. Got the sun in my pocket, build your resilience. So when the next winter cycle comes, I prepare with no losses. The work of the solo, it's a bar.